In favor, say aye. Aye. Approval of the minutes of February the 10th, 2014.
I've read the minutes and I make a motion to approve.
Have a first. Have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or the commission requests that the items be removed from the consent agenda. Rules of the public hearing keep comments to 3 minutes or less. Each person presenting will be expected to offer new information that has not been made previously. Once the public hearing has been closed, no additional comments will be heard unless the public hearing is officially reopened. Now, I believe on the consent agenda there is one item that I think we want pulled off. Is that correct, Chip? One item.
Yes, sir. Let's discuss the change in speed limit on Andrew Jackson Parkway.
All right. We have Councilman Glover here. Councilman, would you like to come to the podium and speak on this? This is on item modified speed limit from Andrew Jackson Parkway from Highland Drive to Trenton Drive from 30 miles per hour to 40 miles per hour. Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really would defer to either police or to Public Works. It's been this way for a long time, in fact, as long as I can remember, it's been 30 miles an hour there. There's quite a bit of subdivision that pulls straight into this, or a number of driveways, I should say, excuse me, that pull straight into it. That's my only concern. I don't know that I really have a lot of heartburn moving it to 40 miles per hour from the 30, but I would defer and just ask those who are more competent than I am on traffic issues to, give me what the thoughts are. I know the police are in there a lot. A lot of tickets are written there. In fact, I request it a lot of times. So I'd like to hear what the police department's opinion is. If that's okay, Mr. Chair.
I agree with you. That's a highly traveled area, and there's a lot of people that live directly on Andrew Jackson that do have to pull in and out, and also it's got limited view. Just so that you know, this area, it sort of goes up, it's a sweeping curve, and also there's two schools that are right there where they're talking about doing the speed limit change. There's two schools there, an elementary and a middle school. So I agree with the councilman on that, it should be reviewed that we change it to 30 miles an hour because of the fact that people drive directly in there, limited sight distance when you're driving, and also that's a pretty bustling area as far as residential. There's a lot of new subdivisions that are going out, not only in Davidson County, but Wilson County, and that's a well-traveled road because it's a direct route to I-40.
Well, and we have a stoplight that's about to be placed at Stoner's Glen, so hopefully that's going to help with traffic some there. I guess I don't know how pressing this is, but I didn't have a chance to talk with any of the homeowners associations there or anything else, just to kind of get a feel for what their thoughts were on it. I guess there was one individual who requested this, and so I don't know. I mean, candidly, I'll plead ignorance here. This is the first time I've come and spoken with this commission, so I really haven't had many things to kind of catch my eye. This one did.
Well, to be honest, it raises a flag with us when we see an increase in speed limits. So it's justified that you're here today because it's very rare that we even propose to raise a speed limit. So just to give you some background on how we approach something like this, we do a speed study and we determine where that 85th percent mark is, blah, 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 with some technical stuff. But if the 85th percent speed is what most of our speed limits are set on, 85% of the drivers are going X speed. And when we did the speed study here, it was hovering around the 40 mile per hour range, which you said was no surprise to you because people are speeding if they're doing 40 and a 30. Then we looked at sight distance, like the officer said, and we look at the school zones, make sure they're signed properly. Long story short, we just pretty much post it with what the prevailing speed is, the 85th percentile speed. Now, you know more than I do about the population and the characteristics of the area, and we can take a second look at the number of driveways interacting with the street if you'd like. But based on the engineering data we have, the accidents being none and the speeds being around 40, we just thought instead of having a 30 to 40 back to 30, a 40 to 30 to 40 area, we'd be more consistent with a 40 throughout. So we were proposing and recommending to change it to 40, but we can take a second look if that's what the commission decides. It's, like I said, basically right now we're going with technical data. The input from the councilman has helped us out, and we could talk to some of the neighbors along the way too if that would help.
I know most folks that I ever deal with are always interested in these residential areas of keeping the traffic speed limit 30, because I know there's lots of people who are pushing to get speed limits lower on side streets to 25. So my view is that the speed limit should remain at 30 miles an hour. I've traveled this part of the road, and there's a lot of residential area in through there, and I know this road gets to be dangerous.
Well, like I was saying, it's not a must-do, and it's not like we're basing this on any development going in or straightening of the road. Road conditions are not changing. It was just we did a speed study and came up with 40 versus 30, and it would be not the end of the world if you decide to leave it the way it is.
Dick, what's the speed limit before you get to Highland View Drive and after you pass, what's the other one, Trenton Drive? Is it 30?
It's 40. That's what I
No,
jumbled up.
no, from Trenton to Highland is 30.
Correct.
It's presently 30. Then after Highland, yes, it goes back up, it goes to 40.
South
After
of
Trenton.
After Highland. So if you're coming from Lebanon Road, as an example, on Andrew Jackson, from Trenton, which is basically at Lebanon Road, to Highland, that's 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
Once you cross Highland, then it moves to 40 miles an hour.
As you go south.
But I agree with you, Mr. Green. I think this particular part of Andrew Jackson is more of a residential area than it really is a major thoroughfare. But it's being treated as a major thoroughfare simply because of the traffic. And I mean, we have a lot of growth coming out of Mount Juliet and Wilson County, and in this area itself. There's been quite a few homes built over the last decade.
I don't see it, but is there a railroad going through here?
There is. It's you've got to come up. No, you're going to come on down past Highland, and that's actually where the pickup is for the Music City Star.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous intersection.
Well, I mean, this commission I think did the study with regards to Stoner's Glen, which is just down a little bit from Highland, and it was recommended to put the light in there because with all of the growth that's taken place, not just in my district, but the next county over, these roads are used extensively by Wilson County, and people don't pay attention to the speed limit now.
No.
I guess what I fear is if we move it to 40, I'm sitting here kind of convincing myself I think we need to stay with 30. What I fear is if we move it to 40, then people are going to say it's okay to drive 50. And to me, that's not acceptable for there.
Chip, quick question. What would be involved in proposing to lower the speed limit to 30 along further sections of Andrew Jackson?
kind of the what we did in this section. We do a speed study and we look at the accidents and the sight distance issues, and basically we base it on, if there's no accidents, we base it on the prevailing speed, what motorists are driving today, unless it's something ridiculous. I mean, we usually go with that 85th percentile mark. That's what the guides tell us to do. Now in this case, what I'm hearing is we've got some changes maybe happening with Stoner's Glen, which we have a signal that's about to be activated there. We've got some driveway issues with Andrew Jackson. Maybe we should take a step back and at least wait till that signal's activated and see what we're dealing with as far as speeds go. And we're talking a month or two before that's even activated, so we're not putting it off.
Well, and also, if it's my understanding, I mean, we have one resident in my district who's asked for the speed limit to be raised. I don't know that would be a general consensus, and candidly, I didn't have time to really kind of ask around and just get a feel for what that neighborhood association thinks about it. I know that the president of that neighborhood association emails me very frequently, asking, can the police come out there? Can you set it up? Because the speeders are just, that area is violated, as I'm sure many areas are violated with regards to speed limit, but that one seems to be a bit excessive.
Mr. Chairman, there doesn't seem to be any compelling reason to change it to me at this point.
I would like to make a motion to, is it a motion to deny? Is that what we're looking for?
Or defer.
We don't think it's a need to defer.
I don't think there's a need to defer, but are we looking for a
You want to table it for?
Well, it's not even, it's not,
Is that correct, Ms. Legal Counsel?
Yes, you can make a motion to deny.
I'd like to make a motion to deny the increase of the speed limit to 40 miles an hour along this section of the road.
Second.
Have a first and a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Good to see you.
Appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
Is anything else on the consent agenda that anyone like pulled out and discussed? If not, we'll just take them all at one time. Proposal number 2013M016AB001, request the abandon of an unnumbered alley, easement, and utilities to be abandoned and relocated from Lee Avenue to alley number 102 between Hermitage Avenue and Rutledge Avenue, requested by Richard Wallace. Do we want to just keep on going with these? Okay. Request for complimentary parking at Public Square Garage for volunteers for the Cherry Blossom Festival on April the 12th, 2014. Resolution number 03-14, authorized yield sign on Canton Court at Explorer Trail, authorized three-way stop on Village Way at English Village Drive, authorized no parking or standing anytime on Chester Avenue, authorized no trucks over 7,000 pounds on Brick Court at Brick Church Pike, authorized state shuttle stop on the north side of Dedrick Street at 5th Avenue North, the west side of James Robertson Parkway at 5th Avenue North, authorized taxi stand on the east side of 2nd Avenue South at Broadway, both sides of 4th Avenue South at Broadway, delete taxi stand on the south side of Broadway at 3rd Avenue North, authorized horse-drawn carriage stand on the east side of 1st Avenue at Broadway, delete horse-drawn carriage stand on the north side of Broadway at 3rd Avenue North. Do I have a motion on the items on the consent agenda? Have a first?
Second.
Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Need a hand vote? Need a hand vote? Unanimous? Thank you. Chip, anything you and Diane like to say?
thanks for having us.
Commissioners?
Please have us back again next month.
Chairman, I have a quick announcement. I made it to the ULI, the Urban Land Institute meeting last week on parking innovations, and it was a great event actually in this room. The mayor gave an introduction, and there was a panel discussion as well as a keynote speaker. And one of the things that came out of that meeting was a possible need for a parking authority. So I think as commissioners, we want to watch that and also be aware of the Public Works mobility study that I understand is currently underway and will be wrapping up in April. So finding the solutions, the innovative solutions that we're seeing in other cities and what they're doing, how we can improve their our parking situations. And also, I just wanted to, as a resident, encourage people to, carpool and take transit. We've got the Music City Circuit that runs for free downtown, MTA buses. There's, innovations like the B-Cycle, which is a great thing for Nashville. And, the staff works really hard on coming up with good solutions for Nashville, and we appreciate all their hard work, and commissioners, and that's it. So, Chairman?
Anybody else have anything? Appreciate you having good news, Ronas. Captain?
Move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? All right. See everybody next week, next month.